thought we could begin by just taking a moment to honor what we're feeling, especially since I've heard a lot and I understand myself that a lot of people are struggling, feeling burdened, feeling a little bit shattered after uh, the election. And I think it can be really beneficial both to use the opportunity to lean into Dharma, as well as just allowing ourselves to grieve. So, just allowing ourselves to feel whatever it is that we feel, to take up our to take up those feelings and not feel like we have to push them away, make them different, anything like that. But also to use them to tap back into the Dharma, use them as a way to touch into some of the fundamental teachings of the Buddha. And we talked about this a little bit on Tuesday, but that sense of recognizing that when we feel bad, sad, whatever it might be, that those feelings of obvious suffering are just that, right? That is obvious manifest dukkha. When we feel feelings of pleasure, delight, when we're satisfied, when we're happy, when we experience pleasant feelings, those are feelings of shifting suffering, shifting discontent. We experience them as pleasant, but as the Buddha pointed out, those are also experiences of dukkha, of discontent, things not being quite right. Because underlying all of those, obvious suffering, pleasant feelings, whatever it might be, there is the all-pervasive suffering of conditioned existence, of not fully embodying the truth of what we are in accord with genuine reality and in accord with apparent reality, even. Lama Yeshe was reminding me this morning, and I really appreciated it. So I thought I would bring it in here to share with you that this feeling of overwhelm, disbelief, being shattered, however that you might describe that for yourself. There's a very good Dharma story that goes with it. And particularly in the context of Chenrezig. So there was that point in the story of Chenrezig after he had taken the vow to liberate all beings from samsara, and he'd been working tirelessly for eons. And then what happened? He thought to himself, "Oh, good." And remember, this is a great bodhisattva, right, on the path. And he thinks to himself, "Okay, oh, good. Samsara must be nearly emptied by now. I'm just going to take a look and see." And he looks and sees still countless beings in samsara. Right? countless beings cycling and suffering. And he felt so overwhelmed by that he had this despair. Right? The story goes that he felt incapable, right? Recognizing the vast extent of samsaric existence, the vast extent of delusion and ignorance. And he shattered. And then what happened? Right? So that moment of shattering, that moment of despair, overwhelm, being crushed, all of these things that we may be feeling. Chenrezig in that moment felt it and shattered because of he had taken this vow and he felt like he could not fulfill it. And so how did he carry on? Right? Having shattered into all of these pieces, how did he move forward? What happened? Did he lift himself up by his bootstraps? Did he say, oh, it's okay, I can do it. I just won't feel this. I'll push myself on. No. Even in the midst of all that despair, all that shattering, he left himself open to the inspiration, the influence of the lineage, of the gurus, and particularly of his guru, right? Amitabha. And Amitabha appears and puts him back together, encourages him, and not only encourages him, but gives him 1,000 arms, right? 11 faces, so that he might better be able to carry out his enlightened activity, better be able to go forward with his promise, right? So I think it can be helpful in times like this, where we may be feeling overwhelmed, just to turn back to all the bounty that the Dharma has for us. Not in a way of whitewashing our feelings or getting away from discomfort, but in taking a more panoramic perspective, recognizing that the Dharma is there to support us, to serve us, and that there are many, many different ways to engender the Dharma, to bring it into our lives. And we don't have to feel a certain way, we don't have to push away anything else, but we can just take in that inspiration, or we can just remain in whatever feelings of being shattered that we might have, but still leaving open that trust, that turning towards genuine ways of being that will serve us and serve others, even if we feel like we don't have any energy to give, we don't have anything else that we can do. Right? You're all here today to practice, right? To turn towards Chenrezig, turn towards our genuine nature. Right? And how wonderful is that? And how wonderful is it just to come together in community to practice the Dharma, to orient towards liberation for the benefit of all beings.